Surprising facts about BTS's V, Kim Taehyung. That you didn't know Kim Taehyung from BTS is more than just your average man of mystery. There are a few facts about him that aren't as common as you might think. Yeah, everyone knows about his vocal abilities or his swan-like dance moves and his super intelligence. But you might not know about his favorite photographer or his favorite artist. So to talk about our bias once again, and just to surprise you here and there, we're rounding up the surprising facts about Taehyung that you never knew. Let's jump right into the video. 1. Jimin wearing Taehyung's uniform. Let's start off by giving you a major throwback. In 2013, when BTS, Bangtan Boys, were belting out masterpieces like the graduation song, they had a top-tier email look. Yup, the very same song that Jungkook, Jimin, and J-Hope performed, inspired by Young, Wild and Free by Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa. Oh, not to mention the lyrics were also quite memorable for their time. The quite open shout-out to Kanye West wouldn't have aged well in 2021. But let's talk about an interesting aspect of the song that might have gone unnoticed. Even though Taehyung, V, isn't a performer in the song, the uniform that Jimin is wearing actually belongs to Taehyung. When the song was released in February of 2013, Taehyung was enrolled in the Korean Art High School. He graduated a year later, so helping his friend out with an extra pair of uniform was quite a thoughtful idea. He was roughly the same size as Jimin, so it was definitely smart thinking on Taehyung's behalf. Not to go on and on about our bias here, but he really is the genius of the group. 2. Taehyung's ancestry. If you happen to be an army from the Philippines, this is your moment to rejoice. We all know BTS to be the global sensation that emerged from the extremely competitive music industry of South Korea. All members of the Bangtan Boys are native to South Korea, and they don't miss a beat to promote their country and its colorful culture on an international level. There's no doubt that they are the pride of South Korea as well as other Koreans around the world. But did you know that Taehyung's ancestry is kind of more complicated than that? There aren't many instances where Taehyung has opened up about his family's history because, obviously, it's a personal matter. Yet, if you've been following BTS since their debut, you'll find some interviews where Taehyung has revealed that his maternal grandmother is actually Filipino. So that makes Taehyung 1/4 Filipino. His mother, happens to be half Korean and half Filipino. Here's the well-deserved recognition that the armies from the Philippines were waiting for. 3. The man of many talents. The world isn't just a black and white place of right or left-handed people. In fact, as usual, there's a middle ground of the ambidextrous, people who actually have command over both of their hands. Yup, they can actually write or play an instrument using both of their hands perfectly. And we know what you're thinking. You haven't yet had the chance to meet someone extraordinary like that. While that isn't a surprise at all, because only about 1% of the world's population is ambidextrous. Taehyung happens to be part of that 1%. Not sure if you guys have noticed or not, but Taehyung doesn't actually have a dominant hand. There are many instances when we can witness him eating, writing, and playing instruments with both of his hands without missing a beat. Even though being ambidextrous is mostly natural, researchers do believe that we can train ourselves to use both of our hands equally. Guess Taehyung got to sit out that one. There isn't such evidence to know if ambidexterity is genetic or hereditary, but we can say that there are indications that it does increase your brain function. Yep, feels like we know one reason why Taehyung is the colossal genius of the group. That's not to like. He can play the saxophone and he can write with both of his hands. If overworked school-going armies are looking for a superpower, maybe you want to consider ambidexterity instead of teleporting. 4. These drinking preferences. We all know that it doesn't get funnier than seeing the boys of BTS just being a slobber drunk. They definitely know how to let loose, and they also have the tendency to be their funny selves while having a glass or two of whiskey. But we are going to reveal something that you might not have noticed in many Taehyung's lives or the Bon Voyage episode. Kim Taehyung isn't exactly keen on drinking. At certain moments, he straight up declines to even take a sip of any alcoholic beverage. In fact, he prefers to have local Korean distilled drinks with very low alcoholic content. And oh, if you're going to hit us with the pictures of having a go at red wine, it was actually a distilled, non-alcoholic version of red wine. Yep, not sure how that works or what even is the purpose of that, but if it works for Taehyung, it works for us, right? If you refer back to episode 5 of the Bon Voyage series, the boys are seen enjoying beer that was given to them by a staff member. What you probably didn't notice was the fact that Taehyung subtly asks for raspberry juice as a replacement for the beer. We can also confirm that Taehyung isn't too particular about his non-drinking policy, as he has taken a few sips here and there on camera, but his tolerance level is just very low. So instead of entertaining us by becoming a helpless drunk, he prefers to be the wingman for his members. Gotta make sure that BTS doesn't reveal top secrets about the new single or release date, right? 5. Star King Taehyung. Have you ever seen women running around or doing their chores in 5 inches high heels, or maybe dancing their hearts off on the dance floor while wearing high heels shoes? That's just one form of superpower that women tend to possess. Hardly surprising for the gender to dance in high heels. It's not an easy feat, no pun intended, especially when your dance moves are inspired by any given complex BTS choreography. Imagine the boys of Bangtan hitting off every dance move from the Fire music video in heels. While knowing the immense talents of BTS, we wouldn't be surprised if they pulled that off. But we already know someone from BTS who has been able to dance on the spot wearing 4.72 inches high heels. We're, of course, talking about the man of many talents, aka Kim Taehyung, who pulled off the choreography from I Need You in heels. And we say that he didn't even stumble for a split second. We actually aren't exaggerating at all. He didn't even keep his choreography simple. As usual, he performed a mix and match of freestyle and hip-hop dance moves. He was even able to perform the high jumps. Taehyung appeared on a reality show called Star King, and he was required to give a performance in 12 centimeters high heels without any prior practice. And we were utterly shocked when he delivered a flawless performance in the first attempt. Even his facial expressions were so captivating and engaging. It was clear that he was super confident about his dancing skills. 6. Vante. Minimalistic photography. Taehyung has a huge appreciation for minimalistic art and photography. While our idols happen to be Taehyung or any of his fellow members, Taehyung's idol is Ante Budzim. Yep, Taehyung is a huge fanboy when it comes to Ante's photography or photogenialism. Ante is an emerging minimalist photographer from Australia who loves to take photographs of isolated elements. His philosophy for photography is not to work with too many elements in one frame. He prefers to keep his subjects free from distractions. You won't be surprised to hear that Taehyung actually follows this philosophy as well while toying around with his camera. Or at least, he has experimented with it. Have you ever noticed Taehyung putting up a hashtag #Vante on Instagram to categorize the photos that he took? You've probably guessed it by now, but the hashtag was obviously inspired by Ante himself. V plus Ante makes hashtag #Vante. And that's how Taehyung has credited the Australian photographer many times for providing him with inspiration. It didn't take Ante long to recognize Taehyung as his very special fan, and he made sure to give Taehyung a shout-out on Instagram by putting up a minimalist photo of 2 men enjoying their swim with a bird in the sky. Like Taehyung, he made sure to capture the picture using the famous hashtag #Vante as a way to thank Taehyung for all of his support. 7. Vincent van Gogh. While we are on the topic of Taehyung and his favorite artists, you might not know that he's a huge fan of Vincent van Gogh. If you're one of those armies who exactly notes legendary artists, well then you must know one of his famous works called The Starry Night. Or maybe you've seen a version of Cafe Terrace at night in your local cafes or restaurants. Taehyung also, Hyung, has a habit of using Vincent van Gogh as an alias to order food at restaurants or booking tickets to movies or such. So if you work in Starbucks and happen to make a venti Americano for a Vincent van Gogh, you might actually be serving our very own Taehyung. And that's all from us today, folks. Which of these interesting facts about Taehyung surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments down below. We hope that you enjoyed this video. So don't forget to give this a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you aren't already. And don't miss any videos from us. Until next time.